Today is the 8th day of Kefir, and we are going to make a Christmas Kefir Yule log today. This is something that I made last year at my Cultured Food Christmas class, and it was really fun to make. And I love this. It's something that you can even make and eat for breakfast because it's made mostly with eggs and egg whites. Every year at Christmas time, my dad always got us a Yule log, and it was probably the thing that we did on New Year's Eve too. We would wait all year to get these Yule logs. So when I made this Christmas Yule log, it was kind of a way to celebrate and remember the things about my dad that I love, and also about Kefir. So I think that food is really a part of your lives, part of who you are, part of what makes you a family, and this is really for my dad. This is a way to celebrate him every year around the holidays because of the things that he loved. So the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get some eggs, because we're going to make the base of the Yule log, and that is made out of eggs. So you're going to need 6 eggs to do this, and you're going to separate them into yolks and whites. And these are pasture-raised chickens, and they have been living happily out in the yard, which makes your food that you eat better, because when an animal's healthy and you eat their products, whether it be, their eggs or their milk, you're healthy. That's the whole secret to food, is to make sure that the food that you're eating is from a healthy source. We have neighbors now that have chickens too, and they have these one particular that's my favorite. It's a hippie chicken. It's got the little hair, it shakes its head, and its eggs tend to get double yolks in them for some reason. So you're going to need a whisk on your beater to make sure that it whips into firm egg whites. And it takes about 5 minutes to do this. So this is almost done, and we're going to add a little bit of sweetener to this. I'm going to use some stevia. You can use honey, you can use anything, but it's going to change. You're going to use any kind of sweetener. You can use maple syrup or coconut sugar, but it will change the color of the egg whites. So I want to use a little bit of stevia, and I'm going to use like a half a tablespoon of the powder form. We're just going to whip it just for a second. Okay, let me show you how you can tell if your egg whites are done. This is kind of my favorite part. If you pick your bowl up and you can turn it upside down like this and the egg whites stay in there, they're done. That's the easy way to know if they're done. So we've got all the egg yolks in here, and we need 1/3 cup of Kefir cheese. Now, I've been having a lot of Kefir cheese in a lot of these recipes, and I wanted you to know that if you don't have Kefir cheese, and it doesn't take very long to make Kefir cheese, it just takes overnight. But if you don't have it, you can buy Kefir cheese that's made by Greek gods, and it's called Kefir Lebanon cheese, and it's at health food stores, and it works really good in all these recipes because I've used it, and it's always been great. It also has probiotics in it. It has a lot of live cultures, and you can see that on the back. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different good bacteria in it. So this is a great alternative if you're in a hurry. So we're going to take 1/3 cup of Kefir cheese. And we're going to mix it into the egg yolks. And I'm going to use a wire whisk to do that so that it can really get blended. And we're also going to use just like a pinch of salt. So I'm just going to mix it real good. You're going to break up the egg yolks. You're going to mix it really good because you're going to fold this into the egg whites. You can see it got really blended. So now we're going to fold this into the egg whites very gently, because you don't want to break down these egg whites too much. And sometimes I have found that if you do it slowly with just a little bit, and you're not going to use the whisk, you're going to use a spatula to fold. And when you fold it, you just go over and around. Some of these might not all get mixed in, but that's okay. It'll still work. You don't have to worry about it being perfect. I'm gonna put a little bit more in here. So it's going to be a yellow color when you get done. This isn't going to be a chocolate Yule log, it'll be a yellow one. So you can kind of tell when it's done because it'll be kind of a light pale yellow. Now, here's the next part we're going to do. You're going to get a cookie sheet and you're going to line it with parchment paper. You're going to have to fold it up and you're going to need something that it won't stick to do that on. So we're going to use this parchment paper lining this cookie sheet. And you're going to spoon this on. Try to do it, we're going to make a rectangle out of this. So if you kind of do it a little bit at a time, and this is going to roll up into the Yule log, so you kind of want to make it as wide and as long as you can, depending on how big you want your Yule log. This is kind of like, you never had those little meringue cookies? It's similar to that, but it has Kefir cheese in it. So now you're going to place this in your oven at 300 degrees for 35 minutes. And you'll be able to tell that it's done because it'll have like golden brown on it, the top of it. So the base for our Kefir Yule log is done, and we're going to take it out of the oven. It'll be a little bit brown and kind of golden, depending on the temperature that your oven controls its settings at. But now we're going to make the filling. We're going to put the filling so that it's going to go in the middle and in the center. And what you're going to need to make the filling is a half a cup of Kefir cheese. This is going to be a really, really creamy filling. It's kind of like a lemony, it's got a nice lemon taste, but it's also got a little bit of a tang to it. So depending on how much you like lemon, this can actually be breakfast because it's actually that good. And it has mostly eggs in it, so it makes a great breakfast. We're going to put this in a food processor, a half a cup of Kefir cheese, and one more block of cream cheese. And then the secret to making this taste really good is lemon zest. So we're going to zest one lemon. All the flavor that you get out of the zest of a lemon is twice as much as you actually get out of the juice of the lemon. And if you don't have one of these little zesters, you need one. Because it does nutmeg, it does any kind of peel, it does grating of anything really, really, really fine. And you can just smell it. It smells great when you do the zest of a lemon. Try to get as much of the skin off of the lemon. You just have to do it for just a second and it gets all of it off. So now we're going to juice the lemon, and you're going to put all of the juice into the cream cheese and the Kefir cheese. This actually has a lot of vitamin C in it. This little recipe here. I'm going to take out a few of these seeds. This in here. We have all the lemon zest and all the juice in here. And then we're going to add whatever your sweetener is. You can add honey, sucanat, or you can add stevia, which I like. I like to make my dessert sugar-free. So I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of powdered stevia. Always taste it to make sure that it's as sweet as you like. And then we're just going to pulse it. So you can see it's real creamy. We're just going to remove the inside of this. And we're going to spread this on the filling. So you can see. Because this is the important part. See, it's kind of moving away from the parchment because you want to get it all the way around the ends of this. You guys, it smells so good. It smells just like fresh lemons. It's real creamy. This is the filling. You can add anything to this filling. I'm going to add pistachios, but I've also added cranberries, dried cherries, even a fruit blend of dried nuts and fruit together that you can buy at the health food store. You can do anything that your family likes. You can add to this filling, and it really tastes great because it's really just, the base of it is just lemon and cream and Kefir cheese. So make sure you get it all the way to the edges, because when you roll it up, you're gonna see it. This is pistachios, and we are going to sprinkle them on top. These are really, really kind of festive because they've got a little bit of green in them. And they also have a little bit of salt, which kind of helps makes this flavor really pop. You can just put on as many as you want because it's all going to be rolled up together anyway. You can use any kind of nuts. You don't have to use pistachios. I just like them because of the way they taste with lemons. Okay, now, here is the tricky part. We're going to roll it up. And what you want to do is make sure that the bottom of this has come off of the parchment a little bit. Just kind of run your hands down through it, or you can take a metal spatula to make sure it's loosened, but this one's really loose. And then we're going to start rolling. You can kind of use the parchment paper to help you. We're just going to start rolling it into a roll, like a jelly roll. That, and put the seam side down. And then we're going to get our knife, which is here, and we're going to cut off the ends just to give it a nice look. You can see it, and as it firms up in the refrigerator, it'll look better because the filling right now is kind of creamy. So it's kind of a little bit runny because it's warm. Then we are going to put this on our platter. And you're going to place this in the fridge with some plastic wrap and let it chill for about maybe a half hour to an hour, or overnight is fine. And this is your Kefir Christmas Yule log.